3, we're going to talk about a more sit-down style restaurant. In this case, that's Jack's wife, Frida. This is a good option because it's not a super fancy restaurant where you'll just be indulging, but it's also a place where you'll probably sit down, you'll have breakfast or brunch or lunch or dinner with a group of people, and you're trying to stick to that 80%. How can I choose healthy options here? So, when we're looking at this, there's a lot on this menu. I'm not going to go through all of this with you. I'm just going to pick out a few things. But the main things that I look at when I'm trying to eat 80% of the way, which can help you in this case, is what is the protein source? How is that protein source cooked? Is it crispy? Is it grilled? Is it fried? Is it marinated? Is it baked? Is there a sauce on top of it? What is the package of that protein? I'm looking for grilled options. I'm looking for baked options, lower in fat, so maybe like a grilled chicken, a grilled turkey, maybe a lean source of beef, not porterhouse or anything like that. That's going to be higher in saturated fat there. That's sort of what I'm looking at there. Maybe some lentils for my vegan and vegetarian folks there. And avoiding any sort of sauce that's mixed with like a vodka sauce, things like that. So that's the first one, the protein. Next one is what sauces come with the sandwich. Is it an aioli? That's usually higher in saturated fats, maybe a little bit of salt as well, or is it an olive oil, right? So we're looking at what is the sauce on top of it. And then last one is going to be at least 2 to 3 vegetables in the meal. If the meal that you're looking at doesn't have 2 or 3 vegetables, but you really want it, you can always add a side of vegetables as well, and I'll talk about that in a second. So those are usually my top 3, what I look for generally when I'm going out to eat. So let's just run through this. I'm going to choose a good option and an option that maybe not the best. In this case, the Mediterranean breakfast and the Maya's breakfast bowl are going to be really solid options. The reason is the protein source is really good. 2 eggs with the Mediterranean breakfast and eggs poached or scrambled with the breakfast bowl. So that's a good check. There's no sauces on top of that. It's just plain protein, good package there. Mediterranean breakfast has a salad, labna, and avocado. So that's 3 different vegetables there and a good source of carbohydrates as well with the pita bread and no crazy sauces on top. So that's a really good option. The breakfast bowl is packed with vegetables. We got quinoa for extra protein, kale, spaghetti squash, roasted tomato, radish, and avocado. Really, really high in vitamins, minerals, and a variety of foods. So this one's going to be a really good option as well. One thing that might not be as good in this case would be the Madame Frida, which is a sandwich with duck prosciutto, cheddar, Gruyere, and a sunny side up egg. So we do have the protein from the egg, which is good. However, we have double cheese, no vegetables, and high-fat duck prosciutto. Even though this is delicious, this would be more of a 20% meal compared to the 80% with the Mediterranean and the Maya breakfast bowl. Now, when we move into sandwiches, a great option here would be the Mimi's salmon burger. I'm not super stoked on the aioli. If you can swap that out for maybe an olive oil or lemon juice or vinaigrette or something like that, that would be even better. But this one does have pea shoots and tomatoes, and the salmon is going to be that good high protein source with a good fat as well to keep you satiated. So this would be a good option here. The other one would be a chicken prego, because that's grilled chicken breast. Aioli, again, not super stoked, but it does have watercress and onions as the veggie. I may get a side of maybe some spaghetti squash or something like that, just to add a little bit more vegetables on top of this. One thing that I would avoid, the prego roll. That's going to be a skirt steak, which is higher in saturated fats and garlic butter. So no vegetables there. Probably absolutely delicious, but this is probably a 20% meal compared to the 80%. These 3 salads are really good. Obviously, they're going to have a lot of vegetables in them, and the vinaigrettes are all great as the toppings. I would just look at, are there croutons in it? Are there fried vegetables on top? We kind of want to avoid those. But in these cases, these are all really good options. Plus, the tuna salad is going to add a lot of protein as well from the tuna. The entree, one thing I would go for here is I would do the fish a la plancha. It's going to be a fish with sauteed kale and radish, so two vegetables there, and high protein from the fish. One thing I would avoid is the sirloin steak because it comes with basically steak and butter and fries. Again, probably a 20% meal, not an 80% meal. However, if you really wanted the skirt steak, I would swap the fries out, go with spaghetti squash instead, or swap the fries for fingerling potatoes, and then top that with some sauteed kale. So more expensive meal, definitely. But if you're really feeling the steak, the way to make this a little bit healthier is to swap the fries for the fingerling potatoes and get sauteed kale for double the vegetables there. And yeah, that's basically what I look for when I'm looking at this menu. Oh, the other thing to call out on the sides, fried zucchini chips. Again, probably want to avoid because it also comes with aioli. Instead, I would go with a salt and pepper eggplant. It's probably grilled, and a good tzatziki sauce is usually yogurt based. That's really good. You can always ask and see what the base is made from tzatziki. Roasted cauliflower is also a really good option there. However, it does have creamy garlic dressing. If you could remove the garlic dressing, great option there. We want to look at keywords like creamy, fried, um, things like that. Um, and yeah, that's what we look for when we go out to eat. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime.